What's going on, Dolphins fans? Welcome back to the Fins Up Network. It's Ben Morgan, and I have been hyping up this video for a solid week now. And now that training camp is taking a couple of days off, finally getting time to record and release this video. But it's essentially my Jaylen Waddle player profile, but I've been hyping it up as how do Jaylen Waddle and Tyreek, the pairing of those two, what do they do to opposing defenses? How is this going to make the team ultra dynamic into 2022? But I want to talk about that. I want to talk about how Jaylen can build up on his record-breaking rookie season. I want to talk about his history with Tua Tagovailoa. But before we get started, I want to do something a little bit different today. I want you to comment Waddle if you think he leads the team in receiving yards. Comment Hill if you think he leads the team in receiving yards. And regardless of which player you pick, go ahead and drop your prediction for yardage totals in the comments below. But let's kick this Jaylen Waddle player profile off about that chemistry with Tua and what we can expect this upcoming season, because we all know that duo absolutely crushed it at Alabama. And then what happens when they get paired back up in the NFL? Waddle goes ahead, sets the rookie record for most receptions in a season. And it's crazy because coming into the season, you'd imagine Waddle kind of being that big play, deep threat that he always was in college. He averaged over 21 yards per reception his final year at Alabama. And here is the absolute wildest stat of them all. Of his 17 career touchdowns while at Alabama, his average length per touchdown was 43.6 yards. Absolutely insane. That's nearly half of a football field. And this is a glimpse of it. This is a video from Waddle at camp. And granted, this is a one-on-one, but this is from that 40, 45-yard line. This is what we expected to see out of Waddle. He's got about 3 or 4 yards from Nick Needham of separation in that video. And it's not like Nick Needham is Byron Jones or Xavier Howard, but that's not bad competition. And that's what we expected. We know he can haul in these deep passes and score. We know he can take those short to intermediate passes, create after the catch for the chunk yardage. But his rookie season taught us that he can be used in other ways than just that big play threat. I mean, look at this. Who was Tua's go-to guy in what seemed to be every crucial third down? Who did Tua target in the red zone and near the goal line? It's Jaylen Waddle. Jaylen Waddle did everything a wide receiver is asked to do last year, besides the stuff that we know he's really good at. Look at this video. This is from that Jaguars game. I don't want to talk about the ending. And it's a simple play. Tua's going to real quick fake like he's going to hand it off to the running back, spin the other way, and hit Waddle. But this isn't the type of tape that we were seeing from Waddle when he was at Alabama. But what he has here is just that quickness. I'm going to cross your face, and that's it. It's the timing, and I'm right there for my guy. And it's stuff like that you didn't imagine Jaylen Waddle when he was drafted by the Dolphins being that wasn't going to be his calling card. 9.8 yards per catch last season. That is not going to happen again. We're going to see Waddle put into these positions on the offensive side of the ball to not only make plays on deep targets, but we're going to see him in position to where he's getting the ball, he can catch and create in space. Remember this play from camp? Here's a good one from camp. Loads up, middle type reception, but getting the ball where he can run and create after the catch. We're going to see so much more of that. And you got to get the dance. Yeah, get the dance. But guess what? If the team's in a pinch on 3rd and 6, or if they need to make the play in the air, in the red zone or near the goal line, guess who's proven that he can do that? It's Jaylen Waddle. I got another one from camp. This is against Xavier Howard. This is goal line work. Fakes outside, cuts back against one of the top cornerbacks in the league, according to most people besides the creators of Madden anyways. But regardless, that's the kind of stuff that he can do on top of what we already knew that he could do coming out of Alabama. And Mike McDaniel, of all people, is super excited to work with this guy. Think about Mike McDaniel since he's been the Dolphins coach. We've seen little to no coach speak. He's not going out there giving BS answers. He's completely seems to be truthful with damn near every answer he's giving. And when they asked him, I've talked about this a million times on the Levitard show, who's the player you're excited to get your hands on and work with? He damn near didn't let them answer or ask the entire question. He was Waddle. It's Waddle. Give me Jaylen Waddle. Like, he is super pumped. Now, if you look at into this season, is Jaylen Waddle going to catch 104 passes again? My guess is that if all of these playmakers stay healthy, that number's coming down. Too many mouths to feed. We're expecting to see a significant improvement from the run game. There's simply not enough offensive snaps in a football game for all of these guys to put up monster numbers. But I do anticipate over 1,000 receiving yards again, because we're going to see a sizable boost in that yard per catch. It's not going to be 9.8. That's not going to happen. So that boost in yards per catch is going to make up for fewer receptions in 2022. But let's talk about that pairing with Tyreek Hill and what that may look like for this season. Because what's super unique about this pairing is how similar Tyreek and Jaylen Waddle truly are. Neither are your tall prototype wide receivers, but both of them win with speed, separation, and short area quickness. We saw it in a ton of those videos earlier. So the beautiful thing about this pairing is they can essentially be used interchangeably. Defenses, you can't just stick your tall cornerback on the tall receiver. You can't just stick your speedy cornerback on the fast wide receiver. Both of these guys have proven that they can win at every level of the field, short, mediate, intermediate, and deep. And that presents loads of challenges for the defenses that they're going to face. Both players can also line up in the backfield. Think about that from a formation standpoint. And while they don't always even get direct handoffs while they're in these formations, both of them have plenty of tape of running actual routes from these types of formations. And we know Mike McDaniel absolutely loves getting creative with his formations, with his personnel. So we're going to see a lot of that. Look at how the offenses that he was involved with the last couple of years with the 49ers used the likes of a Deebo Samuel and a Brandon Ayuk. I consider both of those players to be like dynamic players when the ball is in their hands. They get their fair share of what I'm going to consider regular touches, but at the same time, they've both been involved in the run game. Both are involved in your bubble screens and your quick passes that let them create after the catch as actual playmakers. And the thing about Miami's duo of Tyreek and Waddle, it's probably better than the 49ers duo. I'm taking Tyreek over Deebo, and I'm definitely taking Waddle over Ayuk. So look at what their speed does, not only for themselves, but for the other skill players the Dolphins have put on the field. Because when Waddle and Hill take the field together, like Tyreek said, defenses will be scared shitless. It instantly becomes their top priority to try to neutralize the speed that they put on the field. So you got to choose. Do you give them both safety help? Do you press off the line? Do you try to disrupt their routes? Do you go into a zone so that they have a more difficult time getting behind you? Let's just say first, if you don't give help, you leave a cornerback on an island. That short area quickness, that route running that both of these guys have is going to put Waddle and Hill at a complete advantage over nearly every cornerback in the league. And Tua is to the point where he's going to be able to recognize and exploit that. Let's say you don't want them to beat you deep. You're going to play that zone coverage if you go that route. Well, both of these guys can act like they're going deep and immediately hit the brakes, and that quick short area quickness, that quick change of direction for them to get that ball and then create afterwards. There's absolutely great film of Tyreek Hill doing this throughout his entire time in Kansas City. He's not just deep passes. We got to get that through people's heads. He's busting zones, and then he's creating after that and taking it to the house from there. And if you outright want to just, I'm going to assign 2 guys to each of these guys. Well, you know what that means? That means there's a lot of field for guys like Cedrick Wilson, Mike Gesicki, Raheem Mostert, Chase Edmonds, whoever the Dolphins have on the field for them to operate and create chunk yardage plays. Now, if you want to go a few years back and look at this pairing, I'd be worried about this type of pairing working in the NFL the way it operated a few years back. You think about what you need in the red zone. You need tall, big-bodied wide receivers. You at least need one. You can't have 2 just fast guys. It's not going to work that way. But the way that the game has evolved to quarterbacks getting the ball out quickly to their playmakers, letting these guys create after the catch. Now you're going to combine that with a creative coach that's been involved in a system in the past that's had success with these run after catch type of wide receivers. Not only do I have much in regards to worries about whether or not this is going to work, I'm actually about as excited as I possibly could for a Dolphins offense. Just look at what they've been doing so far in training camp. It hasn't been consistent fireworks since the pads have come on, but man, we are seeing more chunk yardage plays almost at ease. I don't want to say any play ever comes easy, but they're making it look like it's not pulling a tooth every time to get 8 yards. Because you know it as a Dolphins fan. It is sometimes trying to get 7 to 8 yards in a play was just hell. It's not looking like that right now. And that's what we can come to expect with this pairing. But that's what I've got for the Waddle player profile. Before we sign off today, keep in mind, check out the Backroom Collection. It's backroomcollection.net. You get 10% off Dolphins canvas art prints when you use promo code FINSUP. Check that out. It's actually the link and everything is in the episode description as well. But like I said, that's what I've got for today, Miami Dolphins fans. So until next time, fins up.